Alex, for people's personal finances, I'm sort of familiar with a couple different ways of creating an estate plan. One being an estate plan that's will based or centered around having a will, and then the other would be a trust based plan. Can you kind of talk about each of those different types of plans and when you might want one versus the other?
Sure. So it's important first to just set that an estate plan is actually more than just the will. Like what you said was like a will based, which means
Right.
that the will is sort of the cornerstone document. But a comprehensive estate plan includes powers of attorney for financial matters, healthcare decisions, an advanced medical directive, or a living will that talks about your end of life choices. But in terms of the actual will itself, a will based plan really provides the will as a cornerstone document that just says who is going to be your executor. Mm-hmm. So it names an executor and directs where all of your assets will go when you pass away. If you have minor children, a will can also determine a guardian for your minor children. But it's really just about making sure your assets go to the right people.
Right.
A trust-based plan is a little bit different because a revocable living trust is something you establish during your lifetime, and it is something that can be used during your lifetime to hold assets, which can be used if you're ever incapacitated, or if you die, then there are instructions there as well. So it's first of all, it's a little bit more flexible in terms of what it can do because it can provide for your own care during your lifetime. If you are ever incapacitated, you can name someone to step into your shoes to manage those assets for your benefit. But more importantly, a trust is a private agreement that you make, and any assets that are within that trust can pass outside of probate, so outside of the supervision of a court. And that's really the key, is that with a will, even though you've directed where everything needs to go, it still needs to go through the court process of probate to submit that will to the court for your executor to get qualified to essentially having a court order that says that they are now have the authority to manage those assets in your estate, and you're still subject to all the filing fees and the probate tax and all of the inventory and accounting and all the other super unpleasant things about the probate process as if you didn't have a will. Mm-hmm. But with a revocable living trust, again, it's a private agreement. So it happens completely outside of the court, and anything that you put in that trust will be distributed based on the instructions and the rules that you put in place for your successor trustee. So it really is a much more, just a better estate plan. It's a superior estate plan, and it keeps your family from having to go through that painful and public process of probate.